Hello, friends. Today, I'm going to tell you a terrifying story where the light of a talisman and the courage of five sinners clash against the spirits of Bhairav Chowk. They say that on that deserted square, it's not just robbers lurking in the shadows, but also the presence of black magic and ancient spirits. So get ready. The evening darkness was slowly spreading all around. The sky had wrapped itself in a blanket of black clouds, as if preparing for rain. In the cold breeze, Chani's mind felt strangely restless. Raindrops always brought with them a sense of mystery and shivers for her. Chani stood before the mirror, busy adorning herself. Tonight, she had to attend Mrs. Kapoor's daughter's wedding. She changed her sari several times, each time trying to make herself look even more beautiful. Chani was a college lecturer, but she looked no less than a college student. She always loved looking and feeling beautiful. While heading toward her car, her eyes fell on the newspaper lying nearby. On it was a headline about Bhairav Chowk. The news read that strange incidents kept happening in that area: robbery, murder, kidnapping, assault, and even unknown spirits. Reading it, Chandni's glowing face dimmed for a moment. A faint shadow of fear crept into her heart. Just then, her phone rang, breaking the silence. She spoke with Mrs. Kapoor and then sat in her car, preparing to return home from the wedding. On the way, a light drizzle began. Chandni decided not to wait, but to keep driving ahead. But as she passed through a rough dirt road, her car suddenly stopped. Darkness and silence surrounded her. Raindrops trickled down her face. She took out the talisman her mother had given her on her deathbed, closed her eyes, and tried restarting the car. With the power of the talisman, the car roared back to life, and Chandni sighed in relief. She almost felt safe until she realized her path led directly through Bhairav Chowk. Her heart started pounding heavily. Suddenly, three strange figures, draped in white sheets, appeared in front of her car. Chandni clutched her talisman tightly and left herself in God's hands. But these were not ghosts. They were robbers. They dragged her out of the car and threw her to the ground. Chandni struggled up, trembling, as she saw the men holding knives. Out of fear, she handed over her gold and silver jewelry, then tried to run. Just then, five students, infamously known in the college as the Five Sinners, arrived at the scene. They attacked the robbers and saved Chandni. "We may be bad," they said, "but we never harm a woman's dignity." Tears welled up in Chandni's eyes, her heart swelling with relief and gratitude. In the end, Chandni reached home safely, having learned one important truth. Sometimes, those we misunderstand as wrongdoers can turn out to be the ones who protect us. After reaching home, Chandni sat in her room for a while. Her hands were still trembling, and the echoes of fear from the night lingered in her mind. But one question kept circling in her head: why were those same robbers at Bhairav Chowk, and why had they attacked so suddenly? The next morning, Chandni called the five sinners from her college. She thanked them and asked if they had handed the robbers over to the police. "Yes, madam," we informed the police. "But we believe these men weren't just ordinary local robbers. There's something bigger and far more dangerous behind them," one of the students said in a serious voice. Fear and curiosity rose together inside Chandni. She decided that she would uncover this mystery herself. That night, she headed toward Bhairav Chowk again. The same desolate darkness lingered there. Along the roadside, faint glimmers of fireflies flickered, casting shadows that seemed to move. Chandni switched on her car's headlights and slowly drove forward. Suddenly, she spotted something shining on the ground in a corner of the road. When she stopped the car and picked it up, she realized it was the very same talisman her mother had given her. But now it glowed differently, as if it had been charged with some supernatural power. At once, she sensed that this talisman wasn't just protecting her. It was warning her of the next horrifying event to unfold at Bhairav Chowk. Her eyes darted to a dark stretch of the road. There, 3 or 4 hazy figures stood. But this time, they didn't look human. Their forms weren't white, but faintly blue and misty, and around them swirled an unnatural wind. Chandni's heart pounded furiously. She clutched the talisman tightly in her hand and whispered to herself, God, protect me from these mysterious forces. I want to stop them. At that very moment, the five sinners appeared. But this time, their faces showed not mischief, but grim determination and readiness. Madam, these are not ordinary robbers. They are tied to the spirits of Bhairav Chauk and to old black magic. We cannot leave you alone in this, one of the students said firmly. Chandni realized that her life was no longer threatened only by mortal dangers, but also by forces beyond the natural world. And then, a piercing scream echoed through the darkness. It wasn't just the cry of that night, but the voice of Bhairav Chauk's ancient secrets. Chandni took a deep breath and resolved. This time, she would not back down. Chandni took a deep breath and clutched the talisman tightly in her hand. The five sinners stood beside her, their faces showing seriousness and readiness. In the darkness, the faint, misty shadows began slowly moving toward them. Madam, these are no ordinary spirits. They are connected to the ancient black magic and spirits of Bhairav Chauk. We must stay extremely alert, one of the students whispered. Chandni nodded slightly, trying to control her fear. We can't just run away. If we leave them here, they will harm others. We have to face them. As they stepped forward, the shadows suddenly started moving faster, accompanied by strange, ear-piercing sounds in the air. Chandni's heart pounded loudly, but she gripped the talisman even tighter. Stay together, and make sure they don't separate us, one of the five sinners ordered. Then, the shadows suddenly transformed into three distinct forms, one gigantic, one humanoid, and one like a misty fog. Slowly, they began advancing toward them. Chandni raised the talisman and said, God, help us. As the talisman glowed, a faint light fell on the shadows, weakening their forms slightly. The five sinners immediately formed a protective circle, preventing the spirits from moving closer. Now is not the time to run. We have to face them, Chandni said, her voice filled with courage and determination. Suddenly the largest shadow let out a loud scream, sending a strange jolt through the air. Lightning flashed all around, and Chandni and the five sinners realized that the most dangerous secret of Bhairav Chauk was about to reveal itself. Chandni whispered to herself, I will win, not with fear, but with courage. With that courage, they took their first step forward, ready to confront the spirits of Bhairav Chauk. Chandni and the five sinners faced the spirits of Bhairav Chauk with the light of the talisman and their courage. The talisman glowed brightly, and with a horrifying scream, the three shadows dissolved into the air and vanished. In the silence, only the rustling of the wind could be heard. The dark secrets of Bhairav Chauk had ended, but as they left, the shadows' voices echoed. This is just the beginning. The real game is yet to come. Chandni's breath quickened again. She looked at the five sinners and realized that while this battle was won, the war was far from over. If you found this story thrilling, make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Because the next story might just happen to you.